Jessica.
Hi, Lauren.
Welcome to Conspi-Reality.
Woo!
Woo, woo. Jessica and I are going up to spend some lake time this weekend with our toddlers in Wisconsin.
I can't wait. Well, the toddlers TBD. Let's see how they act, if they're acting a fool.
Although I was asking my daughter, I was telling her she's going to go see Hope Wrangel. And she was like, Hope. She started saying Hope's name. I think there was some recognition. We're just having all of our vacations together, Jessica. First, the Backstreet Boys, which, did you see Britney and Janet went to Backstreet Boys?
Yes, and
Vegas?
Got to meet them. I wish we'd gotten to do that, but.
And by the way, it was a very good show. We did have some thoughts about some of them.
Poor Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin's fighting for his life every night on that stage. I mean.
And I used to love him, Jessica, which is sad.
There's something with his facial hair and the long hair. It's giving creep factor to me.
Yeah, one of those only people in life who has kept the goatee through the 90s. It's now been so long that it's now fashionable again.
He's holding on for dear life. I know. And who would have thought Howie, I think, was the best looking at this age. And Nick. Nick doesn't look like he's aged much, but
yeah.
Brian and AJ and Kevin have seen the years.
They've seen them. They're wise old men now. We have a couple things to go through tonight. So the Valley reunion, we have 2 parts. Shockingly, that is 3 parts. I think they could have gotten there on 2, but there's kind of a weird amount to get through with that cast. Yeah. OC, Real Housewives of OC, and Ultimate Girls Trip, for those that are watching that. So a lot of Vicky. We were saying that right before we started. And then
too much Vicky, some would say.
Victoria. And then Next Gen. So, but let's kick it off with some Bravo in the headlines. First off, this one kind of broke my heart, Jessica, and it actually broke my heart, I think, before our last episode, but I had to wait to talk to you about it because I had such a sinking feeling in my stomach. Have you seen these allegations that Andy Cohen was philandering and kind of cheating on his boyfriend?
Yeah.
So there was, I would say, very B-list. I've never heard of him. Attractive, don't get me wrong, very attractive, but B-list gay, actor. And he literally went on his own Instagram, his personal Instagram, and posted screenshots of him messaging Andy's now current boyfriend. They've been dating for longer than a year, I believe. He was telling, his name is Kevin, that Andy had messaged him on this app called Field. And then they exchanged a few DMs, and then Andy sent him a voice note. And the reason why they didn't fully connect was that Andy said that they had worked together before on a couple of shows. That was the reason. Stars would not be aligning for them.
Well, then why message if you're saying, why even reach out if you're then going to say, we can't be together or something?
Yeah, why even go down that route? I don't know, but the message to Andy's boyfriend, Kevin, was Andy's always been a philanderer. Yeah. Don't feel bad. It's not you. It's just who he is. It broke my heart, Jessica. I listened to Andy on his podcast, and he just seems so settled and so grateful for this guy. Andy better watch out.
But he's a catch if you want the money, the lifestyle, and the connections. You just be hanging out with Sarah Jessica Parker just randomly, you know, Andy's bestie. But that's not to say you should have to put up with cheating if you're in a monogamous relationship.
But also maybe they are open, maybe that was something that they agreed. Shockingly, the post definitely went viral, but baby viral. It wasn't everywhere. It was a few sources picked it up, that type of thing. Next, Katie DeLuca finally did an interview. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
I forget what even podcast it was on. Apparently it was one of her best friends that interviewed her.
Yeah, I was another person that's kind of has a decent following, I think, that podcast.
And she talked about Amanda and Wes, and it felt very much like that Amanda had lied to her just as much as she had lied to everyone else. And Katie, being her best friend, kind of sat her down at one point and tried to give her tough love, and Amanda really didn't want to hear it. That was everyone's big takeaway. It was she lied even to the people closest to her in her life and her family.
Yeah. So, okay, no new information. Moving along,
Right. That's a little bit of what I'm feeling, too. It's interesting that Katie DeLuca is deciding to do that right now. After everything's really been passed. It seems since being, frankly, cut out of in the city, and now she's a little bit like, let me play the cards I still have. Okay, and then the last thing was the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City trailer dropped. Did you watch that?
Oh my God, yes. So
I can't wait for them to come back.
Is it September? I forget the date.
Yeah, it's early September, so we're close.
Sweet. It looks so good.
It seems like they addressed the Angie and husband split. It seems like they kind of addressed the Whitney and Justin one as well.
Yeah.
We'll cut to this, but Lisa on Real Housewives of Ultimate Girls Trip, has that full cry sesh about how she just feels like her cast is not as fun and everybody's holding a secret on each other and waiting to spill the beans and it made me look at the Salt Lake City Housewives a little bit differently because they're such good TV, but the reality is to be really good TV is you have to be like high drama.
Yeah, but it's unfair to compare that to the OGs all coming together. There's a little bit with the OGs, like a little bit of like turf wars and this, but they don't know each other inside and out to be like, Kyle, I heard this about Mauricio that you aren't sharing. You know what I mean? Like they're not in each other's business and they kind of know this is supposed to be this big celebratory and they don't want to like keep continuing to give the housewives the bad name. Like this is just catty women. And so they're very much whooping it up. And so of course Lisa's going to have fun. And
I mean, Lisa cries. Yeah. Those tears are laying in wait.
Well, she's blinking all the time. Maybe she's blinking the tears away constantly. When she was back on the screen first, I was like, I forgot about Lisa's blinking.
One of the creators did like a post just dedicated to the amount of times Lisa's blinking.
Love it. I don't remember blink count.
Yes. He's like, most people blink this many times, but Lisa blinks this many times. That's pretty good detective work, but I don't care. I didn't care enough to like stick around of like what was the result of that. It was significant. Let's go into Valley reunion to start. Yeah. 3-parter. Let's talk right away where they're sitting and how they look. I mean, people have already addressed this. Danny looks shorter than short, Jessica. I've sent you a screenshot on that.
There were a few times that when I started seeing memes, like I'd already watched part 1, and yes, I noticed he was shorter, but when I started seeing memes about it, I'm like, people edited that, right? And then part 2 came out, and I was like, no, that's actually where he's falling. Like, Nia looks like a giant next to him. So, and Luke is tall, but
super tall. But Jessica, Nia is 5'8". Danny is supposed to be 5'9". In real life.
5'7". 5'7".
But he's supposed to be, okay, so even if he's 5'7" and his stage height is 5'9", he's supposed to be on par. He looks shorter than Nia.
Yes, yeah.
And then I think he posted it, if I remember correctly. Clearly, all of the people sit with pillows behind their back now, so they sit up more straight. He had circled a post where he was trying to show that with the couch he was sitting on was shorter than Luke's couch. I don't think production is that diabolical. I think if they're...
I do. I think they probably really dislike Danny in filming. So
I think if there were give pillows...
him an inch shorter couch and no pillow behind him to like sit up straight.
You know, if there was like a PA handing out pillows, she missed Danny. Like she's just like... Nia,
and Kristen, do you need 2? Or Nia need 2?
Yeah, right. We start with Britney and Jax and the custody stuff. Have you seen all of that nastiness that have gone on since? He sucks, Jessica.
I mean, the way their stories are the exact opposite of one another. Right. Like, you didn't do any of this for our son. And Brittany's like, I did all of that. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I just feel horrible for their son. I know.
Well,
this
and
poor boy.
I hate to admit it, but I read Jax's stuff and I thought maybe Britney's not doing as much as what she's saying. I'm the person I'm like the goldfish. Like I literally lose track of who's right and who's wrong. And then Britney posted this video of this guy, no-name guy, talking about narcissists and how narcissists' whole thing is they want to make sure optically they look like they are the best parent. Mm-hmm. Not that they actually want to be the best parent. They have no actions actually, but and I was like, okay, Lauren, correct yourself. Like, of course, that's what he's doing. So I feel horrible for her, but it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter who you marry in life. It matters who you have kids with in life.
Yeah. Britney could be done and dusted with him if they had no child together. It would be like, he's off running around with his publicist. That'll sting, that'll hurt, whatever. but she wouldn't have to interact with him. She'd be free.
So let's talk about Michelle and Dr. Dre. Wow, Michelle. And then here we are 2 weeks later, and Dr. Dre is out with somebody else.
I know, awkward.
Aki.
I can't imagine Dr. Dre is down with being discussed on the Valley.
I can't either, Jessica.
I don't think he wants to be talked about in his dating life. And he was probably like, the episode came out and it was like, and
we're done.
We're done here.
We're done. Yeah. By the way, so Sally Carson on Lala and Sally's podcast has made me aware of how this works. If they say your name when they're filming, they send you, the production team sends you like an email to get your signature on a release.
Oh, okay.
So Sally knew she was going to be talked about on, like, let's say In the City, because they had to send her. And then if you don't give that, they bleep your mouth, right? It says so you're totally right that he knew before that was coming out that he was going to be talked about. And he probably sat there and was like, what are you guys saying about me, you know?
But he did approve it then.
Yeah, he did. He did. You're right. He approved it. But to be going to the same exact restaurant with a new chick, like, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
I think Michelle, at the end of the day, like, just is a little bit more fame hungry than maybe what she lets on. And I think some of these choices in men are reflective of maybe that. Jessica, I mean, we were texting about this. Like, the fact that she's talking about the guys so soon into her relationship. Now, Dr. Dre, they caught a photo with him. But Maximini or whatever his name was, she was talking about him and she hadn't even gone on a date with him.
Yeah. So the second his full name was said when they were on, like, her, Lala, Schwartz, and the girlfriend were on that little boat, I went, okay, there's a reason he got named. And it's because Jesse was mad about him being introduced to the daughter. And I went, that's why this guy's full freaking name was put out there, who, mind you, is like a comedian with a special coming out. So,
oh, really? So he probably
thought,
wanted
hell yeah, put my name out there. People will Google, who is Mac? I did. I was like, who is that? And I, like, looked him up.
Well, and let's jump to Lacey, too, because Lacey exposed a couple things about Michelle. I did not realize the timing of Aaron. Apparently, did you catch this? That Aaron was filming 3 weeks after he started dating Michelle.
Yeah.
We met Aaron as though he was, like, around for, like, 6 months.
I know. I thought I got the same impression. I did not know it was that fast.
And then, Jessica, let me just cue you to another point. Remember then when there's that really cringeworthy scene where Michelle is passing the phone to Isabella in the backseat, and Isabella's saying, I love you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Jessica, that would have been like, so if they met 3 weeks before filming, like, that would have been like 2 months into filming max. 3 months. I mean, you only film for 3 months. I hate to say it, agree with Jessie. I mean,
it was a little fast to get Isabella involved. Yeah. I think falls fast and hard and thinks it's the one, and it's done the following week.
What did you think of Lacey and her? Lacey dominated, like, just to give it some...
Yeah.
Dominated part 1 and a fourth of part 2. Just Lacey.
I saw someone make all these comparisons where it was like Lacey thinks she has such a point of comparing stuff with Aaron. Like, your boyfriend filmed and I didn't, and I was refusing to film and da-da-da. And everyone's like, yeah, Aaron didn't come to the reunion and sit on the couch and have things to say. No, Lacey, you're, like, fully involved, and don't act like Aaron was the fame hungry one, because he didn't, like, come to that stuff. He just agreed to film.
And he didn't apply to be on Real Housewives of OC 15 times.
Know. I loved when, like, Andy was like, how is it misogynistic that you know, came on. I love how Andy was like, I'm not following.
I had to look up that word. Not because I had forgotten what the word meant or, didn't know.
Yeah.
But because it was being used so much that I was getting it like, I was like twisting in my brain a little of like, wait, what are we saying again now? Can we go back?
No, I agree. Because then Lala's like, that's not, it would be if you did this. And then I was like, I agree. It was like, what definition is everyone going off of?
But misogynistic just means you hate women. And it could be women who hate women or men who hate women. But Lacey was just calling everybody that. Like, you get a misogynistic, you get a misogynistic. And it was like, what is the point? They don't hate women. They clearly are riding together, Lacey. They just don't like you. Can we just say one more thing on Michelle? Did you take away this at all? Like, it seems like she's a little upset that Jesse and her divorced.
Yeah.
But Jessica, not just like where did we go wrong? But like, would get back together with him.
I don't know about get back together because she seems to have a very deep-rooted like disdain for him. I just think her ego took the hit that he is so in love with Lacey.
Right.
As I think anyone would. It's almost like you don't want the guy, but you see them in their next and you're like, what the hell? Like, why wasn't I good enough? Like, why weren't you like that with me? You know, you start comparing. I mean, I've been there.
And you're right. Like Kyle and Mauricio, for example, the Kyle would take Mauricio back in a heartbeat if he were to come back to her embrace. You're right. Michelle's a little bit more.
Embrace.
Luke and Kristen.
Oh my God. This is like that therapy session continued, and it's just thing after thing. And this, I go back to, we talked about this, where I'm like, he's being honest. I think at one point he even says, I'm just trying to be honest with his answers, but he's immature. And the stuff he's saying is like, runaway Kristen. They are going to get divorced if they get married.
Right.
I would bet a lot of money. If they get married, they will get divorced in 5 years.
Well, and the other thing to tie this all up is that he didn't watch the frickin' show, which I've seen so many creators come forward at this point and say, and I would sign up.
This needs to be a requirement.
You need to be fined if you're not going to watch, because I think he came in super smug to the reunion he saw that people knew that Kristen had maybe been in her postpartum and there was a lot of anger and it all stemmed from her. He came in a little too like not understanding his part that he played. And to me, Jessica's reading is he's like just seizing the moment and being an asshole. It's like, dude, you're like, you think we want you on the show? Like, you think that Kristen can't stand without you? Like, he's acting as though it's like he could go back to Colorado at any minute. And I want to be like, do it then. Go back to Colorado. Like, he's asking for powder on his face. It's like, dude, you've clearly grown accustomed to the spotlight. Stop acting like you're being dragged, kicking and screaming into this.
Someone compiled all of old Vanderpump clips of Kristen going crazy, like snacking James, chucking a drink at someone, telling that one manager to suck a dick, all those. And they're like, we need this Kristen to go off on Luke. I was like, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And she's through postpartum. So I used to take the side of like, this is what postpartum looks like. I was kind of like this. Now I'm like, no, he deserves a good kick in the ass. Like he deserves like to be slapped on his face, because the level of just like smugness, I'm like, this is too much. And then what did you think of the comment from Andy when she says, we are too volatile to be in couples counseling?
And Andy was like, never heard of that. My initial was, holy shit, you have a lot of problems if that's what your therapist told you. But then again, I can understand if you haven't figured out certain things yourself, it won't be productive together. It doesn't sound great for your relationship that you guys are volatile in couples counseling. So we saw a tame version that they filmed, and Luke drives me nuts. So I am not trying to defend him because I really like him or am on his team, but I don't think he can correctly articulate his thoughts. Like you said, he's caveman. What I think meant with that whole Watch What Happens Live, once he explained it a little more, I wouldn't either want to make my baby adjust.
Right.
When you're going through it with the sleep, that was a very fair explanation, but it came across as I don't want Kristen there because I can't enjoy my time in New York. I get that. I don't know what she would have been at that age. Like, she just turned a year. So she's like under a year. Like, you're still like trying to figure out, and time zones will fuck a child up with their sleep.
But I feel like too, Jessica, that's kind of what you signed up for when you become a parent. Like that it's not going to be perfect travel. You're not going to have these big nights out. Like you're going to, sneak a glass of wine on the flight, and then you're going to spend the rest of the time, consoling your kid or walking up and down the aisle. So the fact that he's very like, I still deserve this. It's like, you're going to get through this.
Right.
I was like so done with him. But let's talk about other people that we're done with. Danny and Nia.
We haven't even gotten into the thick of it. I think we're just about to.
With his lying about drinking.
Yes, and everyone alluding to the wedding, and I can't wait to hear what that's about.
But I think it's that he took his shirt off and he was shoeless.
Okay, so like not something you do sober at a wedding.
I don't know what he did to Jesse, but Jesse's going to clearly try and protect him, right?
Yeah, what the fuck, Jesse?
And Jesse's, and everyone clearly has heard it, but only Jesse has seen it. So Jesse's going to have to try and like deliver the blow while also trying to backpedal of why he spread this information, which Nia will view like as a betrayal in herself. I think, and this is what the theme has been the entire cast is like, it's not that you took your shirt off and were shoeless. It's that you sit there on the couch today, Danny, and you say, I haven't had a drink since.
Yes.
Jessica, it's like we've all had bad nights out drinking. I mean, he's a little short, petite man. Like, it seems like his limit is 2 drinks and he has consistently 4 or 5.
He's very into working out. He's probably not having too many carbs. So, like, it hits him.
He probably doesn't eat dinner. He's on those Ozempic. Like, it's like we get that all. It's like, but then to dramatically say, like, I've not had a drink. And the other level of creepy that I'm starting to realize is that I saw this, somebody posted this, that their therapist that they always go to like work through issues is fully their pastor, which is probably not the same thing. Remember when she went, I'm your wife. Like, remember we thought that was like some sort of trying to messaging.
Reconnect to your partner. When they're in the like heat of rage, bring them back. I hate everything about Danny and Nia.
It's so toxic. What's your bet that they're not going to come back next season?
If they come back again, I cannot have Nia constantly saying, these are horrible people.
Right.
Just fucking admit you're there for the paycheck at that point. Then play the game. Act like you are friends.
Right.
And whatever. If you come back again and the same narrative, I don't know how the Valley moves forward if they come back. It just is going to be the same shit.
So Jasmine says the show-stopping line of like, I'm so tired of hearing about your guys' kids. And then somebody took a screen grab of them all lurching off the couch. You don't know. All this stuff.
Pre-kids, I agreed. I would sit there like, oh my God, stop with like this and that. But they're using the kids to excuse the other behavior, which they aren't related.
Right.
So he keeps trying to say, I never drink like that, but I was so stressed with the kid, I let loose. It doesn't equate. Maybe that's what Jasmine meant. You're just an asshole.
Yeah, I think I agree. She was trying to suggest there was a lack of an accountability with like continuously blaming the kids. And unfortunately, it came out. And, Jasmine, when it comes to her in these dramatic moments of what she's trying to get her point across, like she just fumbles the words, like totally. She says the wrong thing. She's not nuanced. It's just she comes in with a hammer when it requires a paintbrush. Your choice of having 4 under 4 is something that you need to know that you have forever. And therefore, you need to take accountability for how you treat people, knowing that is your current state from now on.
Like, figure it out. And I loved how Andy was even like, so that time that Nia was kind of admitting that she was like drowning, like what's, and then they're like, yes, we've gotten more help. And
they got the au pair. Yeah. Pray for that woman.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine living with Danny constantly? You would just drive yourself nuts. By the way, this is so small, Jessica. Nia was going on her monologue of how this is how Danny supports me when I feel like that. And the things that she said Danny had said to her, do we need to change your nutrition?
Yeah.
Do we need to move your body? I'm
what
like,
can
so
we
he tells
do
you
to get you to like a workout class?
I'm like, so let me be clear. He's telling you that you need to work out and eat differently. I would have smacked him.
Yeah. Danny probably gave Nia a Peloton bike as a push present. Like, let's get back on there.
I know. Oh my God. Let's hit Lala. She's in the Hall of Fame after this reunion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is better than Lindsay Hubbard during the Summer House thing. This is better than Lala back during Vanderpump era. Like this, thank God. I would have never thought that she is sitting there.
Right. I know. She's not afraid to speak up, and she has very good observations.
Landing the points,
you know? Yeah. When she said, I think this is what goes on behind the curtains, and you guys forgot to close them.
Yes, it was
time
just
in
like,
San Diego.
Well done, Lala. Finally, all of Lala's combination of like white trash, quick talker, man hating, like this is what she was put on the earth for. This moment, talking to Danny and Nia about it, because it's just, it's direct, but it's also what we all need to hear and hear them actually respond to.
You said it accidentally, but I like combining Danny and Nia to nanny.
Nanny.
Like, it's kind of an annoying sound.
Yeah.
Like, nanny.
Tom Schwartz, I don't know what he's doing there. He knows how to play this game, and like, is he just seeing himself out?
Yeah. I mean, they'll keep him on there because he kind of is the peacemaker and the connector. He's good with everybody.
Then also, Scheana gets talked about. Here we go. Like, Sheena's being talked about. So let me just say, Scheana was talked about on this show. She was also talked about. Heard of House of Stassi at all?
Yeah, I keep meaning. It's on Hulu, isn't it? I haven't watched it.
It's fabulous. You need to watch it. But she's talked about on there as well. She is everywhere still.
She's got her hands in a lot of things.
So this goes back to like, why didn't she want to film with this cast?
I think it was the fallout with Lala was too painful. So I will not be shocked if Sheena's making an appearance. Honestly, I don't need Jesse or Lacey.
I mean, if Brittany's going to sign up and suggest another storyline is going to be how she gets something augmented on her body, absolutely not. We do not need that.
No, it's going to now be her GLP-1 journey. Yes. And Kristen's and Jasmine. They're all fucking on it.
All right, let's go to Real Housewives of OC. Yeah. Did you see that Amanda, what is her name? Francis is not coming back?
I saw that. That's wild.
I forgot to put that in the Bravo and the headlines. What do you think happened there? I just think she was, I don't need this.
I think she chose no. Yeah. I have to imagine they were giving her a contract and I agree,
Jessica. No. And I think she just makes, I mean, if you believe anything she said, she just makes so much money. She doesn't need this. Or maybe the lawyers were worried.
Things are not looking good.
Yeah, like the FBI is a knocking, girlfriend. Like, get off.
Yeah, people are sniffing around.
A la Liz.
Lay low.
Like on Real Housewives of Rhode Island, right? Liz decided that too, which we all thought was a avoiding of the law moment.
Yep.
Let's talk about Carmela.
Carmela versus everyone, but it all seems to be somewhat resolved at the end of it. I agree with Vicky when she said, I just don't like braggers. I do see that. And I'm sure, especially in the OC, a lot of people try to lead with their money because they're insecure about, do they deserve to be there or whatever? So she definitely leads with that. Do you think the house that Emily went to go meet her at is like the Corona Del Mar house? Why do I get the feeling that is a fully furnished house that they're renting?
Ooh, Jessica, that's a hot take.
When she gave Emily coffee, they were styrofoam cups. Like, she didn't have mugs there.
Or, take it one step further, is it a model home?
Yeah.
That she's filming in for the show?
There were, like, no photographs. I felt like, if they film again, I'm gonna look closer. The house
that's a good observation, Jessica.
The house she filmed with the daughters at the island, and they were laughing about skipping school and all that. That's a separate house. That felt like she lived there,
right? But
the other felt like a stage house.
That's so true. And Vicky's already kind of alluded to that, where she doesn't actually live in the area. She's
she's like, oh, she bought a place to live, but I think she's renting, if you ask me.
I mean, Carmela, clearly not a super successful developer, real estate agent, whatever you want to call her, but she is dangling the TV show out in front of her clients to say the house will get exposure, right? Full on. The client who's sitting there and talking with her about how much she should list it for.
I was dying laughing at this listing appointment. Him going, let's do it. I was like, wow, she got it. Shocker. I was like, for once on these shows, can the client be like, I think I'm going to go in a different direction. I actually hate everything about your philosophy of selling, and I'm not going to use you as my agent.
I also think, Jessica, the fact that Carmela wants to take Jen on as apprentice, I don't think that's bad. All those girls are freaking out about that.
I think she explains it better the second or third time around. Right. But yeah, it's like she has no experience. This isn't an intern, and Jen's in college trying to decide her career path. so you bring someone in to like shadow you. She's like, Jen can pick some things out. And then Emily's like, and what are you going to pay her? And she's like, I don't know, like 20,000. It's like, I'll come pick some fucking tiles too.
Like, I'll do that. At least one thing about Carmela is true, which is it's somewhat consistent. If she's trying to show off or if it's just a, empty gesture, either way, it's the same kind of brand.
And her whole thing is, I'm trying to support women, and like Jen needs to find her own thing and not be reliant on Ryan.
Let's talk about Gina and Emily. I mean, that's a little bit interesting to watch. I don't think we've ever seen them fight.
No, not really.
And so my take on it, Jessica, is I hate to say it like this, but I think Emily got thin and is now views herself as more of the cool girls.
I fully was like, Emily is throwing Gina under the bus.
Yeah. I
wouldn't have ran to Carmela and said what Gina told me, who's your bestie. That's like, that was for the storyline.
Right.
You like, yes, you could defend it. Gina said all that on camera. It was gonna be revealed, but it didn't need Emily to run and tell it.
Tell her, of all people, it was Emily to do it. I feel like Emily has always had that personality on her where she's like, piping up and let me tell you and I'll fire off it to you and you and you. But her insecurity, which she's been open about, has always maybe like kept her more in check and in place. Mm-hmm. And now she's got this whole new vibe. And I mean, she looks amazing. And it's a little like nobody is protected now.
Shane better be shaking in his little boots.
I mean, I think they kind of head towards divorce this season.
I know. That at least looks like the teaser, but I don't know if it actually happens. I mean, what will happen to their podcast?
I know, right? Okay, and then let's move to Vegas. The one piece of credit I will give OC this season is they've now been on TV for so long that there are cracks that are starting to show. Yeah. And so crack one is Gina and Emily finally have a little bit of a beef. Crack two is people are finally talking about what makes Heather Dubrow so annoying, which I don't think we even knew, Jessica, until we started to see this season. And I wrote it down, that she's on an endless pursuit to find a buddy. And basically— How sad. I mean, Heather always postures herself as the one who's got it all. And you don't even have a friend.
Yeah, but you don't have a friend.
You have no friend. And that's why she's stuck with Tamra all these years, because she didn't have a buddy. And then she tried to be Jen's buddy, and Jen basically outed her immediately.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that this is the first season so far that Heather's storyline is not about a house or remodeling. So the storyline is now how desperate she is and friendless. So they bring in, we're getting a lot of her mom.
Yeah.
And we're learning about her childhood, and I'm starting to understand what shaped Heather. And then they told that story about how she had a list of people she wanted to have play dates with. They're literally talking about since childhood she's been trying to
break in.
Her friend.
Oh. It just tugs at your heart. Oh, my God.
I know. She's actually quite insecure, and I think
the richest, thinnest, prettiest one of probably a lot of housewives is, at the end of the day, she just wants a buddy. I mean, yikes.
I know, and everyone else kind of pairs off, and it is always Heather by herself.
And then it triggers her that Emily and Gina stay together because they are each other's buddy, which it's so funny to me because at the end of the day, they did that because the main group was so hard to break into.
Yeah, because they were newbies together, weren't they? The same season they came on, because they didn't know each other pre-Housewives, Gina and Emily, right?
Right. They didn't. Now they're besties, and it's Heather, they did that because you didn't let them in. Yeah. The showgirl stuff in Vegas. Jessica, I was really worried about Vicky's knee the entire time. That actually gave me a lot of anxiety that she was dancing on it.
Yeah.
And I know Andy's going to look back at that and go, how iconic was that scene to be showgirls? And I just looked at it and I'm like, I would never want to do that in Vegas. I would never.
No. I know. I was watching it going, thank fuck we didn't do that. That was hours long. This isn't this quick, you're in, you're out. They're doing your makeup, your costumes getting fitted. I'm like, oh my God, nightmare. Did you catch, how and we're about to talk next gen that it's during BravoCon, which is kind of fun. They eat dinner at the same place. the OC ladies and Next Gen.
As Next Gen. That's
the dinner is the same spot. They were walking into it, and like you and I were just in Vegas, and I was like, did we go there? I'm like, no, I don't know why I know this place. And then they walk out, and I'm like, Next Gen had their dinner there.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, just from a production point of view, if that
they got the waivers signed.
Just reuse the waiver. Let's go back to that restaurant.
Yeah, it's probably the same waiter. I didn't pay attention to that, but it could have been.
That's so funny, Jessica.
Yeah.
Good catch. Let's go to Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So, Ultimate Girls Trip is as the kids call it, it's a clip show. It's like you say something and we clip back to it. You say something and we clip back. And I'm kind of done with the 20 years of Housewives thing.
Yeah. I wrote down the first episode. I said, someone say 20 years one more time. Like, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah. So, okay, first episode, it's all about OC, which I'm like, what a clunker group to start off with. They have to. And this is where the fight between Tamra and Shannon happened. Which, Jessica, I had that all wrong. Like, they apparently, that was Quiet Woman. Then they also went to Quiet Woman with Andy at a different date. And I was confusing the two of like, well, Andy paid for it.
Yeah.
And, he already admitted that he paid for it. So why are we still talking about it? No. This was the Quiet Woman fight that they had.
Yeah.
Where Tamra doesn't miss a moment to call out Shannon in front of all these people and say how she was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
This makes more sense.
Like you agreed. What a clunker to start with. When they were doing all those flashbacks, a few of them I was reminded of. Like, oh, yeah, that happened. And, oh, yeah, that was iconic. But I just kept sitting there thinking, and I still haven't come up with a better one. But I'm like, is the Bunko party the most iconic? Yeah, and then I was like, how sad that that's the most.
I know. I agree with you.
I guess it had to be Vicky centered.
Right.
So I'm sure there's other moments, but Vicky might not have been on, or it wasn't a fight she was involved in. So that was her whole Slade calling her Miss Piggy, I guess.
Yeah, I felt horrible for that. Unfortunately, I think it was not the right moment to admit that. This Bunko party was super iconic. By the way, it was one of my worst memories and caused me a lot of trauma. And then the candles for them, I was like, what is this?
Okay, so hilariously, Vicky's taking it in a different way, but back to OC. When Emily calls her Debbie Downer, it's not because she's not a party girl. It's because she brings up weird-ass sad moments, and everyone's like, oh, do we console her now? I thought we were at a party.
Can we just also talk about the thing that actually drives me nuts about Vicky is the amount of work she's still doing as a 70-year-old woman. Like, she's talking about life insurance. She clearly moved to Mexico. She became a primary citizen of Mexico.
That's a tax thing.
Taxes. She's working on the bus, which is like, girlfriend, you couldn't have taken off the 2 weeks that you're filming? Like, you own the company. Like,
yeah.
What is, Jessica? It's like, are you not wealthy enough? You're literally an iconic TV star. And you're still having to work? It's past the point of gimmick in my mind. It's like, it used to be precious and now it's just annoying.
Well, it's giving she's a control freak. I don't think she can stop because she doesn't trust the people at the company to get it done while she's not there.
Right.
She's probably like a see me on everything person.
Totally.
She'd be a nightmare of a boss.
Nightmare. God. I love when housewives infiltrate other housewives stuff, like the screaming at the Bunko party when they're all the screaming is too much. Thank God. That is how OC is our brand of fun is high-pitched screams. I'm so happy it finally got called out.
I guess we're going to get more Beverly Hills, but I literally in the beginning was like, we're just getting Crystal and Sun. But then it's Kyle's white party is going to be next. And we get Erica Jane and a ton more. I was like, sorry, Sutton and Crystal are the best we could do. I mean, I know we're not going to get Vanderpump because it's Kyle, but
people were saying is this the franchise's way? Is Crystal coming back? And I'm like, no, please no. Please, no.
I don't think so. And I've been hearing rumors Tracy Tudor might join Beverly Hills. She was on $1 Million Listing in LA.
Yeah.
I like her a lot. I watched $1 Million Listing LA, and she would be a great addition, I think. She's well off. She's spicy. I think she wouldn't be scared to talk some shit and maybe start some things on Beverly Hills. And people are talking about maybe Morgan Stewart. She's rumored to maybe be. She was from Rich Kids of Beverly Hills.
Oh, yes. Okay, but if she's...
Would be a lot younger than the rest of the cast.
Yeah. She's great, though. I agree with you. But the problem with Morgan Stewart is she was on reality TV, and then, people who really know what they're doing, they figure out a way, Ariana Madix, right? They figure out a way to be like, not in the thick of the filming anymore. Like they're the host or they're the... Right. Whatever. And she's made that leap. So now to come back, it feels like you're going the wrong way, Morgan. But yeah, she would be good. I mean, anybody would be better than Crystal. Crystal was far too in her head. Like, Crystal was not made for reality TV. Remember, and I hate to say it like this, so trigger warning to anyone who's listening who doesn't want us to always talk about this stuff, but Crystal's whole shtick was she was constantly, and she admitted this on camera, this is not me, she was constantly comparing how thin people were because she herself is, I think, continuously struggling with an eating disorder. Yeah. And she would say it very coded to her husband, but she would be very obsessed with the fact if someone came back to film 10 pounds lighter. And that would be what, and she was open about that. But it's we can't do that again. Please, no. And frankly, if she's going to come back, Jessica, my take on this, get rid of her goddamn podcast. We cannot have housewives who are also doing podcasts on the side.
Yeah. Someone else, you said it first, I'm not joking, and another bigger podcast person who is not a housewife, obviously, made that comment. And it popped up on my algorithm, and they specifically call out Tamra. And they said, you started the podcast when you weren't a housewife. I don't think you should be able to continue it now that you're back. And I was like, that's what Lauren said, and I totally agree.
Let's hit on Luann. Luann and this German man who's clearly does not realize he's on. Jessica, I don't think he realized he was on camera, and he's really? Trying to have phone sex with her.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, she did then go, there's a lot of guys around.
But
and
she had to I think she was remember, we're filming.
I'm mic'd up right now. Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh my God. Giselle, great. I mean, I've never been more appreciative of Giselle to be on this show. Jessica, it's the only reason why there was anything to talk about at OC.
I know, but is the right word contrived?
Right.
I just am on to Giselle. Nothing she does is genuine to me.
Right.
She knows it'll start drama.
Right.
I couldn't, she was actually, yes, I was annoyed Vicky was working, but Giselle was pissing me off being close your laptop, you got to be all in on this. I wanted to be Giselle, you on Love Island was the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen. You probably had a boyfriend back in Potomac and you joined it. She was so not there to meet anybody. It was for the paycheck, a little vacay. And sure, Giselle wasn't trying to work because I don't know what she would be doing if she was trying to work while she was there. But I was no, I don't know. She rubs me the wrong way. And she's only on it because Karen Huger went to prison. It would have been Karen on Ultimate Girls Trip.
Right. And by the way, Karen says that they asked her to be on and she said no because she was she's worried about her sobriety.
Was she out of prison when they filmed?
The interview I saw, somebody caught her on red carpet and she said they definitely asked me and I said no. Second choice.
I was wondering how Heather Gay was feeling about Lisa Barlow.
Snaps, Jessica. I totally agree. Lisa Barlow is going to be insufferable this season because of this thing.
She'd be when I was with Kyle.
Yes. But Jessica, if you remember, Heather and Whitney actually were on the first Ultimate Girls Trip with Giselle in Thailand. So Heather actually had her moment on this.
Yes.
I just think...
But this one would have been more iconic.
I think Lisa is iconic, though.
Yes, she is. She is.
As much as I
agree with the choice.
Right.
Yeah.
As many mixed emotions as I have, Lisa is iconic. Also, by the way, we didn't talk about this, but Heather seems to have a boyfriend this season. Something about Heather Gay being sexual really grosses me out, Jessica. To the high heavens. What? I think she was always
so repressed.
Yes, and then when
Mormon.
she gets in these sexual environments, she's so crude. And Tamra is pretty cool too. I wrote down when they were talking about the vibrators that Carmela had purchased for Emily, and Tamra yells out, "Did anyone suck one of their you know what?" I'm not going to say because I think we would literally go from PG to R in the podcast ratings if I said the actual C word. But Heather Gay is really crude in my mind when it comes to sexual endeavors.
So you really liked her when she was single and couldn't find a man.
I hate to
You're like, that's the Heather I like, the celibate Heather.
I don't know. We're a 90s. We're a very rare breed, Jessica. I think you would agree with this. We're a 90s type of prude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shame was consistent
deeply
in our
instilled,
upbringing.
Yeah. That's very true. Well, I'm excited if this white party is going to be if it actually lined up with their white party that will be on Beverly. Like, is Beverly Hills filming at the same time as when the white party?
It'll be interesting. Let's just hit on that real quick. Kyle and her, the one thing Kyle has, the one thing that she can bring to this is that she gets to call out Ashley and Giselle about the Mauricio thing. Jessica, and I just need clarification on this. I feel like I take crazy pills in the sense of the very obvious thing to me is that Kyle, you were the one that initiated the divorce. So and you're dating Morgan Wade. So to sit there and continue to be like, well, we're not divorced yet. That's what she said to Giselle. We're not divorced. It's I
know.
Kyle, we know you're holding on to that dear life, that small little thread that you have left.
I know. And as we've discussed, they probably both have not started it because separating shit is going to be a nightmare from the financial side because of how entwined business stuff is. That is the delay.
Right.
Mauricio's getting his ducks in a row because he doesn't want to lose 50% of the agency to Kyle.
He's moving that shit to the Bahamas as we speak.
And Kyle's sitting there going, well, he hasn't filed, so I think he still loves me.
Yes, Jessica, yes. And by the way,
meanwhile, he's boning anyone he can find.
Literally,
30 and under.
I don't feel like I have that much game in life, nor am I in the most attractive segment of people. I feel like I could land Mauricio. If you and I were out, I feel like I could land him. I'm pretty confident. If Kelsey
I could get a smooch.
if Kelsey was betting on if Lauren could land Mauricio, I would bet on that bet. Just because it's he is that available. And she never blames him. She never says, well, my goddamn husband is acting like he's divorced and we're not. She always is looking at the girl it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Kyle, give it up.
Give it up, boo. Okay, next gen. Do you want to move there?
Yes.
Okay, so let's set the scene. This is one of the more, I think this is going to go down in history as one of the more iconic episodes of all Bravo TV for one reason, and that's because they get them at BravoCon, Jessica.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? What happened? Yeah, it was very interesting.
Meta. Yes.
Yeah, I guess meta to see the behind the scenes and them. And it was, I thought, very cute of the newbies being like, I don't know what this is. And they're like, do you think fans are really going to be there at 9 a.m? And and you've been it's crazy.
I loved it because I don't know why they don't do this. They if you I've gone to BravoCon twice and I've also watched the live stream. They could make a TV series of the level of stuff that goes on at BravoCon.
Just BravoCon.
So I was finally, we're seeing this. And it's so funny because they also don't know anybody else on any other show. Shy in the after show was talking about how he gambled the night away with Shep. And he's that one guy on that one show. I'm like, it's Shep.
Oh my God.
So funny.
Oh, Lord. Yeah. Charlie, he's got some great lines in his confessionals.
Yeah.
Where he just very evenly goes, winning the award is very important to the
Bravo kids.
To the Bravo kids. And it was Ariana and Gio were
Gia.
Oh my God.
Gia was thank God. I was trying to think in my head, who would they even gone up in that category of rookie of the year? It would have been the McBee dynasty, which I don't think anybody watches them, although they are getting more traction recently. And then it would have been Real Housewives of London.
They flashed the screen really quickly and I didn't care enough to try to pause it perfectly. and I'm sure we could Google like who was nominated. I think other people were like solo people. It wasn't always a cast.
Oh, I see.
So of course you're gonna pick the cast, like it's a whole bunch versus one person from Shaws of whatever.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah. You're totally right.
At least that's what I think. I don't think it was all show versus show of RHOC. But anyway, who knows? But yeah, good. Congrats. Hey, honestly, though, they did deserve it. It was a great rookie season.
Yeah, I totally agree. So let's talk about the key plot point is Ariana and Charlie. And so for those that didn't watch, like Charlie is the bad boy. He's basically Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl, but I would say even a little bit weirder.
Not as rich.
Not as rich, right? Not as rich. Ariana has just broken up with her boyfriend and basically spends all this time saying how she would never get with Charlie, is being pursued by Liam, who's like the good-looking, very like wholesome guy.
The angel on the shoulder and the devil.
And she clearly hooks up with Charlie. I mean, I would go to my grave betting that they hooked up in BravoCon.
Yes.
Like, and they're just not saying it on TV.
I like completely know the Charlie type.
Yes.
And you sit there and you're like, they're an asshole, they're this, they're that. But then they give you attention.
Yeah.
And they are hot. You're like, I can't deny he's good looking. And then they're kind of funny and they're flirty. And what do you know? You hook up with them.
Yeah. You get a little drunk. And Amira said it perfectly on the after show, which you got to watch the after show, Jessica. Like, they drop all this gossip on it. But she said it perfectly. She's like, originally Ariana could kind of get that attention from him, but there was always a natural boundary of like, I have a boyfriend. Now there's no natural boundary, so she can't just use that as her excuse. So as he pulls her in tighter and tighter and tighter, like, she has less like rebuttal of like, you know,
why can't I hook up with you?
Yes, mentally she's less of a rebuttal. So it makes sense how it's gotten to this point. And I just think it goes back to what we all know to be true. It's like you could have the nicest, most charming, most attractive little Liam pursuing you in your 20s, but you could still sit there and make the absolute worst decision, which we've all been there. I was there, you know, I can't remember, but I know I was there, where you're just sitting there and you're choosing the wrong guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for all of our, you know, young 20 male listeners, I'm sure there's tons, but when they say, you know, nice guys finish last, that's true in this sense, but the girls will come around and they will marry you.
Yeah,
when it's time to settle down, we get our heads straight. And the bad boy is the worst husband because he will cheat on you. So Charlie will be left in the dust and Liam will get wifed up and find the right person for him. But yes, in the dating game, the nice guys, I think, do finish last, unfortunately.
So, and the big giveaway for those that didn't watch that these two hooked up, who were like, you know, originally never would I ever hook up with Charlie, is that Ariana moves from first class back to economy to sit next to him on a red eye from LA. Like, Jessica, the worst conditions possible. You're traveling, what is that, 6 hours?
That is a long-ass flight from Vegas to New York. It's nearly cross-country, yeah.
On the after show, Ava Dash was saying how during the entire flight, she kept hearing Ariana and Charlie talking and giggling. Can you imagine how annoying that probably was to people who were trying to sleep? I would have killed somebody on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so two other things. One, Rachel Roy, Jessica, is on the show, which it's so weirdly iconic in my mind. The other thing is Brooks Marks. Let's talk about him for 1 second. What a little annoying gnat of a human being.
So annoying. And getting mad at Shy for speaking the truth. And mind you, also reiterating things Brooks has fully admitted, that he hates confrontation. He's not upfront. He shies away from it. And then Shy says, I think he could learn being more direct from Riley. And he's like, how dare you say that about me?
Well, I also think too, Jessica, like I fully thought Brooks was going to be like smart and like a little conniving, into the drama, but wants to stay away. Overall, though, a little bit of a light spirit. That's what he came off in season 1. Now we see him season 2, and he is just a wah-wah. He's a wah-wah constantly.
Yes. He shies away from it all, would rather stick his head in the sand than, like, do anything about any relationship. Like, he is so avoidant. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. That's a really good term. And I just can't get over how much he makes his personality his clothing line, for a clothing line that to me is so ugly.
That hardly exists. Yeah.
That Terry Light fabric, which he pioneered.
And it dissolves in the washing machine.
And it shrinks on impact with water. Yeah.
He's like, I meant to make it where it shrinks to a tube top.
That alone is like Ickville. But it's like the fact that you just pitched her actual idea to him is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jessica, what are the kids talking about these days?
Yeah. So this is a social media thing that I actually had to do more Googling because I didn't understand it.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of ghost posting?
No.
So, let me get the definition pulled up here. It's a thing on Instagram. Some of the youngins are starting to do. So what you do is when you post a photo or a carousel of photos to Instagram, you instantly, like, it goes live and you right away archive it. So it'll not be on anyone's main feed, but it's there, like, archived on your account. And some people keep it that way, or some then in another few weeks or even a month post it back. They unarchive it. But because Instagram views it as being really old, you don't pop up on the main feed anymore. So it's then just on your grid. So youngins they're like being all artsy with their grid. And they're like, social media is not about, like, chasing the likes anymore. So, like, you purposely are taking it away so no one sees it unless they come to your page months from now when you made it go live again. And they want to use it like it's their diary. And this is where I look back at moments. That's what your camera rolls for. I mean, sometimes when I want to go down a trip down memory lane, I literally slide my finger and I'm like, I'm in 2002. What did I do on that day? Like, you don't need to do all this posting it, hiding it, reposting it so that it's on your grid. Like, who fucking cares?
So I have two thoughts for you on that. One, I literally was saying that today, Jessica. I was watching. Sometimes I told you guys this. I go on Facebook Reels just to see, because I feel like Facebook is the Wild West. The amount of people that are like, so let me tell you a story about when I was 2 years old and this happened. I'm like, get a damn diary. I do not have time anymore to listen to your long drawn out story of how you couldn't have a cookie and then you did get the cookie and then some bully said this to you. Like, get a fucking diary.
It was the one example, this one girl in the article was like, well, when I was studying abroad, I was actually so stressed out the whole time. Like, my courses were really hard. I, first of all, never heard that from anyone who studied abroad. The courses sound like a joke. But she's like, but I had all these amazing photos of my time in Italy. And it felt disingenuous to post my photos when I was actually struggling during that time. So I archived them. And I'm like, you're thinking way too much about this. If it does make us all a little less addicted,
sure,
then I'll view it as a positive, because we are all slaves to this at the moment, myself included. Like, I've tried to do Instagram cleanses, and I last a week or so, and then suddenly I find myself back on there. So, like, it's a drug.
It is. Let's do some conspiracies.
Yeah.
I have kind of two good ones. So this is really fun. NFL is going through all of their training camps right now. Have you seen this?
Yeah. No, but
there's a bunch of content where they have all these girlfriends of quarterbacks, and they're sitting with the quarterbacks, like, on the side of the training field, and they're chatting and talking, and it's like during a break, and NFL is posting all these photos. Well, it's been cracked. I think it's a conspiracy, but it also, I think, is kind of true, that the NFL wants to appeal to more of a female fan base. So they're using these girls of the quarterbacks, these girlfriends who are like Madison Beers, Olivia Ponton, Marissa Ayers, all these
who happen to be beautiful influencers themselves.
They all have, those three that I just named have 70 million followers. The NFL only has 50 million on Instagram. So they're planting the girls. They're making them go out to practice and like sit and like pick like grass out of the like quarterback's hair on the sidelines.
Oh my God.
So they can post to their female audience. I mean, that is, Jessica, as much as I hate that, that is genius. That is genius.
It's genius, but it all started organically with Taylor Swift.
Right, like, of course.
The amount of women that started watching because they wanted to see if the camera panned to Taylor.
Yes, correct. That was phase one. Right.
I have never cared about a celebrity that much that it would make me like into something else.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. The people that idolize Taylor Swift, that these girls who wouldn't know one NFL team to save their life. The Chiefs. I love the Chiefs. And you're like, that's just embarrassing.
Okay, next conspiracy. So Hayden Panettiere, rest in peace. I was shocked.
Yeah,
I mean, these celebrities, it's just crazy when they, when I was young, I didn't understand it. But now when they pass, it's like, it jars you for a couple of hours during the day. It's like, whoa.
I know.
Can't believe that. And
I watched all of Nashville. Like, I loved
me too.
That show.
I love that show.
That's
I thought it was really good.
What I knew her from in more recent years.
Totally. So there's a bunch of conspiracies going on with Hayden. I didn't feel like it was appropriate so soon after Death to talk about that. The person I want to talk about is Diana Jenkins. Have you heard about this?
Yes.
So those that don't
From
remember,
her
Diana
memoir.
Jenkins, she was Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she was super rich, and no one could really ever tell why she was as rich as what she was. She clearly married somebody very wealthy, and then she was divorced to him. She had like a boyfriend, but it felt more like a pet than a boyfriend. And she just lived this very lavish lifestyle.
She's a grifter.
But she seemed to know a lot of people as well. And then the key attribute that everyone talks about on Reddit with her is that she licked her lips a lot. Do you remember that? Like more than Kathy Hilton.
Was that mentioned in the memoir, in Hayden Panettiere's memoir?
That she was a lip licker?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I was like, it's Diana Jenkins.
That's what the Bravo verse refers to her as, lip licker.
Okay, yeah, lip licker.
So the conspiracy is the following. So she had connections to Hayden Panettiere, which is how this all wraps it together. Hayden Panettiere's family life was not good. It sounds like a lot of abuse, sexual as well as physical, a lot, just the worst. And so early on, in her growing up, apparently she distanced herself from her mother. And she took on a mother figure that was Diana Jenkins, of all people. It's come out through drips and drabs, never been actually confirmed, that Diana Jenkins, this is the conspiracy, is that she's super rich and she's a key connector of Hollywood. And she's a madam of a party girl, kind of high-class party girl ring for Arabs, Wall Street, D.C., and Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which, the only thing I would say, Jessica, is it makes sense because if you actually watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with her on it, she was such a dull personality. She literally had nothing interesting, no conversation. The only thing she had was extreme money. And so the fact is like, I always picture people who break in. Sonia Morgan, magnetic humans who have all this personality to them. She never had any of that. So the conspiracy is she's this madam. And basically, the other reason that kind of points to it more concrete, other than just the rumors, is in Hayden Panettiere's book that was coming out or is out. She basically says a good female friend that she viewed as a mentor when she was young. She was on a boat, and the woman put her naked in a bed next to an older British, very well-known movie star. Yeah, like singer, movie star, whatever. And everybody was like, that was Diana when that book came out. The other thing that Diana did, which is a little bit suspect, is she created this coffee table book called Room 23. Have you heard about this?
Mm-hmm.
And it's this picture book that's supposed to sit on your coffee table. And it's these extremely intimate pictures of girls and then actors. And apparently they take all these photos in this penthouse, this very famous penthouse in Beverly Hills. And, it was considered iconic at the time, but now everybody looks back at it and goes, that's the client list and the party girls, like this a Lindsay Lohan, a Hayden Panettiere that she had in her circle, that she was pushing out to parties. So anyway, I mean, this Hayden Panettiere thing with Diana Jenkins, I've seen it now multiple times through rumor here, rumor there about Diana Jenkins.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that Beverly Hills got her on that show and we watched her via housewife lens, you know?
Yes. Yeah. No, I really hope something is uncovered and she's
Me too, Jessica. Like if God is good, she will go to jail, like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. Well, it's like, was that the same? Were they running in the same circle?
You would have to think. Jeffrey Epstein, of course, had a layer of horror on top of him that was the pedophilia. There doesn't seem to be pedophilia with Diana Jenkins, but this high-class party girl trafficking ring, I think, is definitely something that keeps swirling.
Problematic.
Problematic. Anyway,
oh my God.
On that note, Jessica.
On that note.
Good luck going back to your day after all that toxic darkness. Anyway, Jessica, great talking to you and see you this weekend.
Woo!
Bye.
Bye.